Hi, I'm Leon Lovelace, and this is Unstoppable Force. Now, I need your help. I need you to go to my GoFundMe page and donate to my campaign so I can do this show full time instead of just part time. I'm going to put a link in the description box below. Okay, and a bombshell just dropped off a few days ago, and this was about how Donna Brazile admitted that the Hillary Clinton campaign was running the DNC. Okay, Donna Brazile, the former interim Democratic National Committee chairwoman, is explosively outlining how the Hillary Clinton campaign seized control of the Democratic Party as far back as August of 2015. Brazile said the DNC CEO Amy Dacey signed an agreement with Clinton campaign manager Robbie Mook in August 2015, known as a joint fundraising agreement, according to Brazile's new editorial in Politico. The agreement, which occurred between the DNC, Hillary Victory Fund, and Hillary for America, stipulated that the Clinton campaign would raise money for and invest in the DNC in return for Clinton controlling the party's finances, strategy, and money raise. It also required the DNC to consult with the campaign about staffing, budgeting, data, analytics, and mailings, according to Brazile, and he gave the campaign final decision-making power on staffing matters. So one thing I want to just mention real quick is if Hillary Clinton and her campaign had control over staffing, budgeting, data analytics, and mailings, what do they not fucking have control over? Because Donna Brazile also talked about how whenever the DNC put out some kind of public statement, the Hillary Clinton campaign had to authorize that. So if the Clinton campaign controlled all of that, what did they not control? The agreement, which Brazile described as not illegal but it sure looked unethical, was in part necessitated by the fact that President Barack Obama had left the party in a dire fiscal mess. And I actually think that's actually incorrect because they actually committed fraud because the DNC is supposed to be a neutral arbitrator that oversees a whole bunch of Democratic primary elections and the general election for the Democratic nominee. And since the Hillary Clinton campaign was running that, they all lied and just talked about how the DNC was independent. They weren't rigging it for Hillary. That simply wasn't the case, and they just defrauded all the voters of the Democratic Party. So that's just a mass case of election fraud here, and that fraud is illegal. So I think that Donna Brazile just didn't want to say it was illegal. To kind of shield Hillary and her campaign from any possible charges. And then it goes on about how Obama fucked over the DNC because he left the party $24 million in debt, and he was paying it off really slowly. Let's skip down a little bit. The Clinton campaign also redirected donations from the Hillary Victory Fund, Brazile claimed. The individual limit to the fund was maxed out at $353,400. Brazile said the funds were then directed toward the DNC, which then sent the money to the Clinton campaign in Brooklyn. This is possible because individuals can contribute more money to state parties and national committees than presidential campaigns. So she's just saying right there that people just the DNC laundered money to the Hillary Clinton campaign. So we got a whole bunch of money laundering going on and a massive fraud case with Hillary Clinton running the DNC when she's simply she was simply not supposed to be able to run the DNC until after she won the Democratic Party nomination. So hopefully Nico House and some of the other people that filed that DNC fraud case a few months back, which got dismissed, hopefully they file that again, hopefully with a different judge, because here's just more evidence about how the DNC just defrauded all the Bernie Sanders voters, really all the Hillary Clinton voters too. Okay, the agreement alleged by Brazile would explain a great deal about why the Democratic Party primaries seem at times to have been rigged in favor of Clinton, which that's not true. It was completely rigged for Clinton at all times. It wasn't just a little bit or occasionally. This included debates being scheduled in ways that seemed to advantage her. It completely advantaged Hillary. Or how even after Sanders won a series of major primary victories, he still seemed to fall farther behind Clinton in the delegate count. I followed the primaries, and one thing that happened was Sanders would squeak out some wins in some of the states, and then Hillary would crush Bernie, especially in the South. So part of that was she crushed him in the South, so that's one reason why early on she had a big lead. Another reason why is every time they talked about the horse race, it was always super delegates included. So I'm sure the Hillary Clinton campaign and the DNC talked about or tried to push the mainstream media to include super delegates in that count and not just talk about pledged delegates, because if you just use pledged delegates, the race was fairly close for a lot of the primaries. Then Brazile also wrote that after learning that the Clinton campaign had essentially seized control of the Democratic Party before the primaries had started, she contacted Senator Bernie Sanders to discuss the matter with them. Because Jordan Cheriton from TYT Politics, he went a little bit in detail about how she talked to him, and then she was really upset, and even Bernie, he didn't really verbally get upset and angry at her or the DNC party for just completely fucking him over and fucking the voters over. And he talked about how she cried because she was so mad about the DNC being so full of fraud and just rife with problems. But I don't get that. How she was so mad about how the DNC was so corrupt that she's going back to being part of the rules committee.